Hello kids, how are you? I hope all of you are safe and fine at home. Thank you for watching my videos. Hi! So today is Thursday and welcome to grammar class. Okay? So I want you to remind you that after this video, you're going to have a short test. Okay? So it will be very easy to do. So don't worry, because apart the classes I give you through these videos, this is exam week, okay? So, but don't worry kids, because it's so good, all right? Easy cheesy, like I always said to you, okay? So let's start. On page, take your book, level up 6, please, student's book, on page 61, okay? So, follow me. So, on this part, we're going to study past perfect, okay? So, on this part here, example, my teacher had told me the songs I was playing were difficult, okay? So, do you see a comma here? On this part, look at this part, kids. Okay, so, again, my teacher had told me the songs I was playing were really difficult. Okay, so this is past, and then do you see this part, kids? This is the timeline, okay? So where on this timeline we define the past, okay? And this is the past too. But it says, so I practiced carefully. This is the other part of the sentence. Okay, so look at this. My teacher had told me the songs I was playing were really difficult. So I practiced carefully. So you see here, my teacher had told me. This is past perfect. And then I was playing were really difficult. Okay, it is here, past. And then I practiced carefully. So what does this mean? On the first part, my teacher had told me the songs. This is past perfect. And then I was playing were really difficult. Okay, so this is past continuous because it means an action we were doing at that time. And then, so I practiced carefully. And this is simple past. And do you know why, kids? Because the first part of this sentence, my teacher had told me, is more in the past. Okay? So this action happened before the other two actions. I was playing were really difficult. And then, so I practiced carefully is in the past too, but it happened after. Okay, so that is past perfect, kids. Past perfect is the past of the past. Okay? So, example. I had run 10 kilometers before I participated on the 20 kilometers marathon. Okay? So, do you see the difference? I had run 10 kilometers before I participated in the 20 kilometers marathon. Okay, so what is the past perfect on this example, kids? What action happened first? I participated in the marathon? Yes or no? No, right? I had run 10 kilometers before. Before what? I participated on a 10-kilometer marathon. So, in this case, I had run 10 kilometers is the past perfect. Why? Because this action happened in the past and before what? The second action, which is in the past too, I participated on the 10 kilometers marathon. Okay? So that is how we define the past perfect. Okay, and remember kids, how do you write the past perfect? Well, we have the personal pronoun, okay, I, you, he, she, we, they, and we have the verb have, H-A-D, okay? I had, all right? I had. And then we write the past participle of the verb, of the main verb. I had run, okay? I had eaten. I had studied. I had spoken. That is how you write the past perfect, okay? We had gone. They had given. You had studied, okay? So that is how you form the past perfect. Easy. And you don't have to change it. You can use I had, you had, he had, she has, it had, we had, they had. And then the past participle of the verb. And after that, the complement of the sentence. Okay, kids, now that you know this, let's continue with the book. All right. So, when we're using the simple past to talk about the past, sometimes we want to talk about a later or an earlier point in time. What do you think? Later or an earlier? Which one do you think is the correct answer? We want to talk about an earlier action, of course. An earlier action that happened before the other actions happened. Okay, so that is an earlier. Circle these words, please. Okay, an earlier point in time. We use the past perfect tense for this. Okay, easy. All right, now let's go to number 4 on this page 61. Your comments. We have 4 short readings here, A, B, C, D. Okay, and now we're going to read them, one of them. Okay, A, great job. I hope you're really happy. I think that your new study methods are working really well. So I suggest you keep using them. B, don't worry too much about your mistake. It's important to always read the information on test carefully. And it's good that you learned this. I'm sure you won't have the same problem again. Okay, now let's read C. It's important to try and rest well before big events and not to worry about them too much. I suggest that you do some things to relax the day before. I agree too. Maybe you could listen to music or go and meet your friends. Okay, and let's read the last one, letter D. It's great that you're doing well when performing in front of lots of people. Remember to try hard on projects, essays, and other classwork too. Okay, remember kids, on this unit, which unit are we here on this? Which unit do we do on grammar now? It's unit 5, remember. So, and what is the name of this unit? The name is Studies Matter. Okay, so everything what we talk about here is about studying, essays, projects, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so all the things you do at school, kids. Okay, now let's go to number 5. There is a pronunciation, listen and repeat. Okay, let's keep this part because it's not on this book. It's on the other one, grammar, on the word book. But right now, we are just using the student's book. Okay, so let's go to number 6 then. Okay, so on this part, think about a time when you learned from an experience. Complete 2 of the sentences so they are true for you. Okay, this part here, look at this. Complete this part, okay? And then, number 7, share your sentences from activity 6. Activities number 6. Ask questions about each sentence. Example, before I listened to Mozart, I believed that I didn't like classical music. But when I listened to it, I found out that it was really great. Cool! How often do you listen to classical music now? Okay. So, do you remember, kids? At the beginning of the year, on the first 3 months, we listened to Mozart and we listened to Bach music too, and you love it. You like classical music. And there's so beautiful songs you can listen to, kids. It's good. I like classical music too. It's so beautiful. Okay, So after this, let's go to page 62. But for this, kids, there is going to be a listening activity, okay, on this part. So listen to this carefully and you follow the reading, okay? All right, let's start now.
Student's Book, Unit 5, page 62.
My first camping trip. I'll never forget the first time I went camping. One day, during our city's adventure camp, our instructors, Joe and Natalie, told us to pack our bags. "We've arranged everything," they said excitedly, jumping up and down and giving us high fives. I was so excited. I couldn't wait to explore the country and learn how to fish. But my friend Sophie was disappointed. She'd been fishing before, and she wanted to do something different. "Why can't we just stay here and go swimming in the recreation center pool?" she complained. Early the next morning, we were all on a bus, ready to go. "Everyone ready?" asked Joe, smiling at us in the mirror. There was lots of traffic, and it was very late when we arrived. It was pitch black, and the only light came from the moon. The campground was completely empty. I felt quite anxious. I'd never been out so late at night. Joe tried to keep us calm, so first we got everything off the bus, and then we had hot chocolate. After that, he got the tent instructions and said, "This looks like a good place to put up the tent." He asked me to pass him the tent poles, but we couldn't find them. How confusing. I knew I had put them on the bus before we'd left. "Don't worry," said Joe. "This will be a great test. We'll just have to sleep under the stars tonight." Then we made a campfire and toasted marshmallows. By the light of the fire, Joe started telling us a story in a slow, deep voice. "When I was young, we always camped in this exact spot, and every year things mysteriously disappeared from our tents. Things like smelly socks and muddy pants. Some campers said they had seen hands without bodies sliding through unzipped tent flaps. Others had seen objects being taken away through the bushes. One day, a camper found a scarecrow in the woods. It was made with all the things that had been lost. They say that the scarecrow was taking things for himself. When he stopped, something behind us made the leaves move. A scary silence followed. Then we all burst into laughter. It was scary and fun. The next morning, I persuaded Sophie to do the fishing class with me. As we walked through the forest with our nets, we saw more and more straw along the path. We began to see even more straw, as well as socks and pants. "Let's get out of here. What if the scarecrow comes?" I whispered. "Don't be silly. Nobody has really seen him." "Wait a minute," she replied, and ran toward a bag. Just as she got near to it, we heard a noise in the trees. "Run!" she shouted, picking up the bag and racing past me. When we got back to the camp, Sophie said, "Look, Joe," and threw the bag with the tent poles in it into his hands as we jumped onto the bus. "Great, you found them. Where were they?" he asked, looking delighted. It doesn't matter, Sophie laughed nervously. But let's just say scarecrows don't need tent poles.
That was really great. Did you like the reading? My first camping. And did you see that? Oh my God, that was so scary. Well, but let me tell you something. Going camping, it's so great. I have done it so many times and I really recommend it to you. If you can go with your parents, with your family, with your friends, you can do it. You have to do it. Here, especially in Guatemala. Wow, there's so many beautiful places in Guatemala where you can go and camp. It's so great, you know, to put your tent in the middle of the forest, you know, under a beautiful starry night with the moon and the silence in front of a fireplace and listening to stories, especially ghost stories. That's so great, kids. All right, so if you can, you can do it. If you can, do it, okay? Because you will always remember it. Okay, all right, let's continue with grammar. Okay, now, please go to page 64, cross-curricular. On this part here, okay, you see, in pairs, well, just you in this case. Look at the pictures and talk about how you think school was different 100 years ago. Okay, wow, this is interesting because it describes, you know, how schools were in the past. How did they look like? Huh? So, for example, do you still remember your classroom, kids? For example, look at this one. This is, you know, like modern schools have now in their classrooms. Okay, so, but look at the pictures here. All right, what you can see. First, there is a blackboard. So they were completely different in the past. And they didn't use markers. No, they used chalks, which was something like, you know, a white thing, you know, white material, which teachers use to write on the blackboards. Okay, then you see a desk, a wood desk, but look at how different it looks like. So if we compare it to the desk which you sit now, okay? And look at this. Oh, there is ink and not pencils or pens like we use now. Okay, and there is a picture here, you know, a black and white picture where you can see students, all right? In a classroom 100 years ago. So yes, there are so many differences now. Okay, kids. All right. On number 2, on the same page, there is a listening activity. Listen and read the text. Okay, kids, you have to read the text, but also follow the reading and listen to the text. Okay. All right. Let's start now. Yes. Play it now.
Student's Book, Unit 5, page 64. 2. Listen and read the text. Check your ideas from Activity 1.
What was school like 100 years ago? How many children were in each class? 100 years ago, classes were very big. There were often 60 children in one class with only one teacher. Classes usually had boys and girls of different ages, but if it was a large school, boys and girls were taught separately. Teachers were very strict, and the children weren't allowed to speak except to answer a question. What were the classrooms like? Children had to sit on wooden benches, and at the front of the class there was a big wooden blackboard. The teacher used to write on it with chalk. The teacher's desk was often higher than the children's, so he or she could see them better. What did the children write with? Children didn't have pencils, erasers, or pens. They learned to write using chalk and a chalkboard. Older children learned to write with a pen and ink. There was a little pot of ink in their desks. Anyone who made a mistake or dripped ink onto their page was punished. What did the children study? They learned reading, spelling, handwriting, arithmetic, and a little geography and history of their own country. First, the teacher wrote the information on the board, then the children had to copy it into their books and memorize it. Finally, they had to repeat the lesson back to the teacher.
Okay, kids, after listening to this reading, so now you know, you have a better idea how schools looked like 100 years ago. Okay, so let's continue. On number 3 on page 64. Okay, on this part here, read the text again, answer yes or no. Okay, so yes or no questions, okay? And then number 4, in pairs, talk about the differences between your classroom and a class 100 years ago. Well, you can talk to your parents, you can talk with your parents about this, you know, how their school looked like when they were kids like you. Okay, so after this, kids, let's go to page 65. Okay, skills practice. Look at the picture. Have you ever been diving? Would you like to? Do you think it is easy or difficult? You know, diving in the ocean, you know, when you put a mask here, you know, and an air tank, you know, and you dive inside the ocean. Wow. It must be so great. You know, kids, I have done so many sports, extreme sports, and I had the opportunity once to dive in the ocean. But you know something? I was so scared. And I was really afraid to do this because I'm a little bit afraid of the ocean, especially, you know, when it is very deep. And I see it from the top. Wow, I really get scared, kids. But but I'm sure if you have the opportunity to do it. Because you will never regret it. Okay? Alright, let's start. Do you see this? Look at this picture. Wow, so great. Look at the blue of the ocean. And look at these divers. Wow. Okay, let's see what it is. Alright, now read the text. Which is the best title? Alright, there are 3 titles here. Beach vacations, sea studies, or diving instructor. Interesting. Okay, but I think I know what the answer is. And I'm sure you do it too. Okay. Let's start. This job can take you anywhere from the USA to as far away as Australia. As far away as Australia. All divers have a recognized, okay, you see the blanks? You have to find out the answers. To prove that they have followed a class, they must have a high, okay, again, blanks, of fitness, as well as good grades. Vacationers who go abroad sometimes choose a diving resort, and children as young as 8 can fill in the blanks, an introduction to diving. It is important to listen to all the instructors' instructions carefully because there is a lot to do when you are under the water. The fill in the blanks again, is pretty heavy too. Students may start in a swimming pool with simple water games before they go into the sea. They will also study the sea's environment. Okay, blanks again. Garbage and learn about rescue and emergencies. An instructor is the blanks again. Job for someone who likes traveling and is interested in sea life. Okay, kids. After this, let's go to number 3. Read the text again and look at answers. 1 to 3. Which one is wrong? All right. Look at this part. Okay? Here. All right, then. Let's go to, everybody goes to page 66. Okay, on this part. Here, skill practice. Again, and number 1. What's the best story you read recently? Do you like reading articles online or in a magazine? Okay, read the sentences below, write the word story or article in the blanks. Okay, for example, let's read this. Your English teacher has asked you to write, okay, to write what? It's story. Okay, write story please. Next, your, okay, story again, must begin with this sentence. Okay, next. The exam scores were on the bulletin board. Write your story in about 100 words. Okay, so now, you see this ad is an international magazine. In an international magazine, this article here. Okay, then it's an ad. Writers wanted semester time. What makes a good start to a semester? It is the classes, the teachers, friends, or a combination of everything. How long should a semester be? Tell us your thoughts about and feelings. Well, a semester, I think it must be composed by 6 months, right? Because it's obvious, kids. Semester means 6 months, right? Okay, so, all right, let's continue. Number 3. Okay, read this text quickly. Which one is a story? What is the other text? Okay, kids, there is blue and green. Read these two, readings and decide which one is a story, okay? And what is the other text, all right? And, after you do this, okay, just write here, story, or on this one, the one you think it is story. Write it with a pencil. Story or story, okay? And that's it. Then go to number 4, read the text again. Find an example of each item from this checklist. Okay, a good article or a good story. Okay, so here you classify, all right? From the one you think is a story or from the one you think is in good article. Okay, so then after this, kids, wow, we go to review Unit 5. Good. Okay, on page 67. All right, on this part, kids, let's do, okay, you gotta do number 1. Okay, on this part here, choose the correct words to complete the sentences. Okay, circle the correct one you think it is. And then number 2, make sentences, use the words in parentheses. Make sentences with examples here. And then number 3, choose 10 words from this unit. Record the words using the steps below. Okay, skip this one there right now. Just do 1 and 2. And that's it, kids. All right? And then we're finished. We're done again. Great. Okay, kids. Thank you very much for watching this video and for watching this grammar class. But after this, okay, there is a test for you, okay, and it's going to be grammar and reading test, okay. It is an easy test. Don't worry. Okay. After you watch this video, okay, get the test, and do it. It has to be done today until by 5 p.m. All right? So, did you listen to this, kids? All right. Get the test, answer the test, and you have to give it back to me by 5 p.m. today. Okay? And something else I need you to know. We are in May, Mother's Month. Okay, so you already know this. And by the way, kids, I need the videos of the mothers, of your mothers, for the kids who haven't sent it to me. You will have only this week, okay, to do it. I need your videos, kids, because this is going to be good for you, to give you points in your exam. Remember, this week is exam week, and I need those videos this week for the ones who have not sent me the videos, okay? So I need these videos this week, all right, kids? And don't forget, you see this? Loyalty. We are in the loyalty. This month is the value of loyalty. Okay, so you know what loyalty is, right? Loyalty is something great that you kids need to do, all right? Always. With your friends, with your families, with your loved ones. Always be a loyal friend, okay? All right, kids. Thank you very much for watching this video, and see you on next class. And I will be waiting for your exams, all right? Okay, kids. Bye. Zoom out.